Maryland family is in the middle of waiting out a potential recall that's leaving their SUV permanently parked in the driveway.
And that's because they believe it is too dangerous to drive. I-Team investigator Scott Taylor has been looking into the problem and joins us now with the details on this and what it could mean for your family as well. Scott?
We could be talking about a huge recall, as many as 1.4 million vehicles. It's the same Honda engine that was the subject of a recall affecting of about 250,000 cars in 2023. Investigators have reports in their hands right now of at least 7 crashes or fires. Can you hear it? That loud noise is coming from the engine of Ellie Shea's 2017 Honda Pilot. Her father noticed it right away.
So it was around July of this year. My daughter, this is her car, she jumped in the driver's seat, she goes to leave, and we heard a very loud rattling sound coming from the engine bay.
The dealership says it's a rod bearing failure.
I just immediately knew that something was wrong, and then obviously as we subsequently took it to the mechanics and then later the dealership, we realized the gravity of the situation.
That's not a cheap repair. The engine needs replacing at a cost of almost $25,000.
I just assumed that they were going to cover it because of the known issues, because it was under investigation, and they declined it. They said because of the warranty and the mileage. This car only has 56,000 miles on it.
Andy Shea went online and discovered the National Highway Safety and Traffic Administration, or NHTSA, is currently looking at a potential recall of more than 1.4 million Honda and Acura vehicles in connection to engine failures, including 2017 Honda Pilots. NHTSA calls it a potential safety risk.
There were reports of crashes and fires as a result, multiple ones, as many as 7, according to NHTSA's own documents.
The NHTSA probe follows hundreds of reports of rod-bearing failures, including more than 2,500 reports from the manufacturer. You and your wife bought this vehicle for your daughter.
Correct.
To protect her. And if she drives it, she isn't safe.
I mean, we purposefully bought a Honda because Honda claims it's a reliable brand.
This isn't a first for this engine. Back in 2023, NHTSA issued a recall on a total of 250,000 2016, 18, and 2019 models for a connecting rod defect that was causing engines to stall or not start. That recall didn't include 2017 Honda Pilots. It's important to point out the 2023 issue with the engine and the 2025 issue involve separate parts. The 2023 connecting rod failure is not the same as the newly discovered rod-bearing failure.
I'm happy that she didn't wind up being a statistic in the crash or fire category.
A connecting rod is a solid metal component, while a rod bearing is a smaller, more vulnerable part that sits between the connecting rod and the crankshaft to reduce friction. The Center for Auto Safety is an independent nonprofit consumer advocacy organization founded in 1970 to improve vehicle safety. It has its eye on this potential recall.
There's clearly a safety issue. The defect is what the folks over at the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration are ultimately going to have to prove.
In September, NHTSA sent this letter to Honda requesting all consumer complaints and field reports, including those involving a crash or fire, for this new potential defect.
Honda should step forward and do the right thing and issue a voluntary recall. And NHTSA, if Honda isn't willing to do that, needs to step forward and force them to.
Michael Brooks says timing is key, whether you get fully reimbursed for a recall.
NHTSA, while they enforce the safety side of things, doesn't really do a great job of enforcing the reimbursements to people who've had defects.
Honda tells 7 News, since NHTSA's preliminary evaluation regarding these complaints is ongoing, it's unable to share any details.
I made this decision based off of, responsible factors, thinking that it was going to be the safer option, and it has turned out to be very unsafe, clearly, as we've all learned.
Well, NHTSA says there have been no reports of deaths or injuries related to the engine failures. Honda has told the family it won't pay for an engine repair. The Sheas plan on waiting for a recall. If a recall is issued, you will hear about it here we're not going away. For the I-Team, Scott Taylor, 7 News.